Hey guys, Dr. Joe Rangel, the bodybuilding PhD. So, last time we talked about threat and how that works with your response versus reactivity. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when that threat comes in. There's two things that occur. And if you are somebody who experiences this, you're going to recognize this immediately. Okay? Let's say you're sending a text to your wife or girlfriend. Send them a text, "Good morning, baby, I love you," right? And every day you usually respond with, "Good morning, baby, how are you?" Or something like that, right? Or a little heart or whatever, right? One day they don't. They just respond with "morning." If you get that text and you say to yourself, that's weird. Man, they must be really busy this morning, or they might be having a bad day, or maybe the kids are being hard to get out of the house or something. That's a measured response, right? If you look at that text that's slightly different than the text you normally get, and you start to spin out and you start saying, "Oh my God, she's mad at me. What did I do? She doesn't love me anymore. Our relationship is falling apart," or you start to feel that anxiety, that's a threat. Okay. And what you are experiencing is called anxious attachment. People with anxious attachment will pick up on the smallest cues in the conversation, the smallest details, because they're constantly looking for that threat from their childhood that I was talking about. They're constantly looking for that threat, and they're constantly trying to avoid it, right? So in this case, the threat may be, I'll give you an example from my own life. My mom was abusive, and it was constant fear as a little kid that she was going to disappear and abandon me or beat the shit out of me. Okay. And I've gotten to a point where I can just say that now, right? But that created a person who is constantly in relationships, and not just romantic relationships, constantly looking for that threat and constantly trying to keep it from happening. So what does the little kid do to keep mom happy? Whatever the hell she wants, right? So what does an adult with this type of threat paradigm do? Whatever she wants, right? All of a sudden you find yourself sacrificing stuff you should be doing to try and make them happy, going to ridiculous lengths. I'm not saying don't sacrifice for your love. I'm not saying don't do things for them, but when you're actually hurting yourself, okay, to do something. The text messages, I got that sort of blasé text message. The next thing I know, there's 50 text messages. I'm saying, "Hey baby, are you okay? Just checking on you. Are we okay? Is everything okay? I love you. Here's a meme. Here's another meme. Here's a heart. And all of a sudden they've got 50 text messages from you. They're all nice, but you are smothering this person. The other thing you might do when you perceive that threat, if you get that threat anxiety, is you might shut down. Oh, okay, well, they don't want to talk to me, so I don't want to talk to them. And you get angry and defensive and those kind of things. Okay, this is all reactive, and it's all from your anxiety, and it's all threat-based. So let's talk real quick about how to deal with that anxiety. I'm going to tell you right now, your anxiety is your brain telling you stories. If you're this overthinker person, it's your brain lying to you, telling you stories. It's creating a worst case scenario for you. And this is where we talk about asking yourself, is it true? If it is true, does it have to be true? Is there anything I can do to spin this truth, if it is true, into a positive? This is where we talk about meditation and breathing exercises and stepping back, recognizing the anxiety, recognizing that you're triggered, and breaking that mental cycle, this stupid cycle that you're in, because and that's the hard part. When you have this stuff, that it's an anxiety response. It's not real, but you can't stop overthinking. And part of what we need to learn how to do is step back and break that circular thinking, that remuneration cycle, so that when you get that text message that isn't quite the same, you take a double step back and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling, but this is probably the reality of it. And so I need to get in control of myself. We'll talk about breathing exercises and all those kinds of things, because the worst thing you can do if you're trying to be a masculine person is base your responses off anxiety. The two do not go together at all. And if you're somebody who has an anxiety disorder, or you have an anxious attachment disorder, or it's not a disorder, anxious attachment style, you got to get this under control. You have to get it under control. I'm not saying don't ever get triggered again. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is you need to learn to manage your triggers better. Because if you're wondering why your relationships keep failing, this is probably why. Okay? All right. More later. Dr. Joe Rangel, the bodybuilding PhD. Love you guys.